Hello and welcome along to Mondo Chalavet Movies. My name is John, and as you can see, I'm joined again by John Hall or HallGoss73.
You alright there? Nice to see you again.
So John's been kind enough to bring across another bag of goodies for me. I'm going to let John explain to you probably what's in here. I kind of half know what's in here because he's given me a really good deal on some like he did with the last lot he bought through, and he's going to sort of take the helms when it comes to what's in the bag. So over to you, John.
Okay, right. Hope you're all doing well, and I'd like to say thank you all for the very kind comments to my initial earlier posts. As I mentioned before, I was very nervous. I still am. But I was very flattered at some of the kind comments that were left by many of the subscribers to this channel. So thank you all. It's very nice of you. I do appreciate it, and all the best. So
I think your video was done very well, John. And to be honest, if you were nervous on there, it didn't show up at all. And I don't think that anybody felt that you were. To me, it seemed like you were kind of a bit of a natural in it, and you got across everything that you wanted to get across. And I think that the video worked out really well.
I certainly didn't feel natural at the time, but I still don't feel that natural about it now.
It's better that it goes along.
Well, I must admit, I mean, when I watched the videos on YouTube, it was a unusual experience to say the least. But like I say, at the time, I mean, I was racked my nerves. I still feel that way now, but hopefully as time goes by, I'll certainly feel a lot more comfortable about it. So, but like I say, I do appreciate the warm welcoming comments. So thank you very much, one and all, who's posted those comments for me. Okay, right, I better make a start here. So I'll leave the best to last, like I prefer to do. Okay.
So actually, when you were around, which we'll get into a bit when you're doing these things, when you were around the last time, you were ordering a few things. You ordered me one of the titles in here as well, which we'll talk about when that comes up.
I certainly did. And without further ado, I'll get the DVD out of the way with. And this is the Hong Kong Legends DVD of the Wing Chun classic, The Prodigal Son. Now, this to me is one of Sammo Hung's best films. It's a great film. You know, it's got Sammo Hung, Yuen Biao, the late great Lam Ching Ying, you know, and if you're into Wing Chun, this is one of the all-time great films about the martial art, you know. I've recently got the Eureka Blu-ray, which came with the equally excellent Warriors 2 as well.
Actually, that rings a bell now. You can see that.
Yeah, it just come in the post the other day. It's a lovely slipcase as well. You know,
has that just been released? Like?
It's just come out, and with it being a Eureka release, you know it's going to be top notch. It's going to be great, you know. Like I said, well, this is a new sealed copy. It's some years old. I think it goes back to let's have a look, 2002, I believe. Yeah, and again, now I've got the Blu-ray. I don't really need this copy. I do have a spare copy more for the audio commentary than anything else, but again, I don't need this, so it's going to a good home.
Thanks, John. Who's doing the audio commentary, by the way?
A certain BL.
Yeah,
I won't say anything else.
Is it him? Yes, the man who's sort of been. I wonder what he's doing these days. He's been sort of extricated now, isn't he?
I don't know if he's still in the business. I think possibly, but on like a much lower level. Maybe he's a lot more low key than previously.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, of course. You know.
Well, that's, as you know, Deborah's a big fan of Wing Chun. Strangely enough. I think she'll probably say that, strangely enough, more than anybody else, because she would have never thought she would have got into it. Because I remember her talking about Wing Chun at first. I think it was like a daft name, and she says that's not fighting, but I says, well, it is if you look at it. So for me, that's now she is a big fan of Wing Chun, and if I say to her I've got a movie in it, and she'll say, oh, who's in it or whatever. So and she'll say, is it Wing Chun? I say yes. She'll go, yeah, I'll watch that. But yeah, I mean, can you imagine that somebody who didn't really get into martial arts or anything is now a big firm fan of Wing Chun? It just shows you how good that is to actually watch on movies.
Well, yeah, I mean, and the good thing is, I like the sort of thing where somebody who would normally not have an interest in foreign films, whether it be martial arts or any other kind of genre, I like it when somebody dips their toes in that kind of pool and actually enjoys a particular film.
Yeah.
And you know, you try and encourage them to try and watch a few more.
Yeah.
You know, it's like if you don't like martial arts movies and you watch like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, you know, and you might think, hey, you know, this is actually pretty good. Now, me, I would personally say, well, try watching a few more, see if you can try and get into that sort of thing, because I do find it quite irritating or even annoying when somebody says, well, it's a foreign film, so it's rubbish. Well,
Yeah.
it might be true in some instances. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of foreign films I've seen which, I've really wasted time watching. But there's some fantastic foreign films out there, from various countries. Action movies, martial arts movies, horror movies.
Yeah, definitely.
You name it, and it's not just Hollywood who delivers great films. There are some great films from foreign countries. And I wish more people would give these kind of films a go, because if you give these films a chance, that they're all really well worth a watch. I could name a lot of different films, but it's
and usually the foreign ones are better, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, it's
definitely.
like I say, France, Italy, Spain, Hong Kong, Japan, Thailand, Korea, you name it. I mean, so many great films from so many great countries, not just recently, but from years gone by as well.
Yeah.
So it's not just. It's always best for me. I like to try and broaden the horizons, try and watch as many different kind of films as I can. And if I can try and help somebody try and get into sort of foreign cinema, if you don't like it, fine. If you've had a go, but
Well, that's it. Just venture. If you just try and you don't like it, that's fair enough. I think you should do that with most things, because there's certain type of genres you'll get into and you think, oh, I'll never like that, and then you think, wow, well, I'll go and get some more of that.
Well, it's again. I mean, I know there's been plenty of great British horror films, plenty of great American horror films. I don't deny that. But I mean, there's great horror films, as we all know, from Italy, from Spain, France has been giving us some great gore fests over the last few years. Great stuff. But again, if you don't give yourself a chance to check some of this stuff out, you could be missing on something well worth a watch. Okay. So, if you fancy giving foreign films a go, then by all means have a shot, because it may well be worth your time.
Yeah, I certainly agree. So that's Prodigal Son. Yes, Deborah will be checking that out, I'm sure.
Okay, and the
Wing Chun.
Next one is the one and the only Death Wish, Charles Bronson classic. Now, this is the American Blu-ray. When I realised the UK version had the same extras, the same kind of version as, there's no really difference between the two. I thought, well, again, I don't need this, so it's going to my good friend John here. Now, as far as I'm concerned, there's no such thing as a bad Death Wish film. Some people may disagree, and that's fair enough. For me, the fifth part, The Face of Death, I believe, I think from '95. It was probably the lesser entry in the franchise, but it's certainly watchable. But like I said, you can't beat a bit of vintage Bronson. You're one of the old school tough guys, right there with Eastwood, and like James Corbin, and that, you're always worth a watch. And again, I mean, look out for young Jeff Goldblum in this one.
Yeah, I always get him mixed up that he's in this one and not Death Wish 2. I always thought he was in Death Wish 2.
Yeah, it's Goldblum in this, and it's Larry Fish. Well, no, Lawrence Fishburne in Death Wish 2.
Maybe that's why I get mixed up.
No, but like I say, all great films, one way or the other. So again, this one's going to good home once more.
Well, thanks, John. It's amazing because, obviously I was talking about this because I don't actually own this. I don't know why I don't own this one.
You do now.
Yes, you're right there. But I thought that for some reason I thought in the UK it was cut. I don't know. I mean, I must get it mixed up with Death Wish 2, which was cut. So is there any? Do you think there will be ever released uncut Death Wish 2 in the UK? Do you think?
I would like to think so, but
it's just a continent.
Yeah, it is.
It's got that really that they don't like to show. The censors have got a big thing about it, haven't they?
Well, from what I understand, if I'm not mistaken, Death Wish 3 was passed uncut over here some years ago, and apparently, from what I've read online, I can only go by what I've read online. The Death Wish 3 Blu-ray, which is in the British box set, is still cut, even though, well, allegedly so. Yeah. Even though the film was passed uncut several years ago, so I don't understand. There's something not right there.
Well, a good thing about this is because I did check out the quality of 2 and 3. 2 looked really good. And I thought, I definitely want. That's why I said yes. I'm going to buy Death Wish
and then watch the whole lot.
Because I want to start off and watch them. Obviously, want to get 4 and 5 as well. But no, yes, I used to get out. This is one of the ones I used to get out the video shop a lot. I remember that. Used to get all mates used to sit around and used to get The Usual Suspects out. Not the film The Usual Suspects.
No.
But, on VHS. And so this was one of the ones that we all loved, mine. I think we enjoyed Death Wish 2 more, if I'm honest. I think it was a bit more nastier, I think we thought. At the time, I don't know if the VHS would have been cut, do you think?
It was a Jaws being cut, yeah. I don't think Death Wish 2 has ever been uncut over here.
Really?
I mean, the thing is as well,
graphic.
I mean, if you compare Death Wish 3 to Death Wish 4, I mean, Death Wish 3 is barking mad. I mean, it's so entertaining, it's so OTT.
I remember it being nuts.
But if you watch Death Wish 4, you can see how much more slickly made it is compared to Death Wish 3. Because
really,
yeah, I mean, Death Wish 3 was Michael Winner, and Death Wish 4 was J. Lee Thompson, who I think directed the original Cape Fear way back.
Really?
With Robert Mitchum and Gregory Peck, I think. And if you watch, you can just tell that Thompson's direction, to me, is much more streamlined than Winner's, and you've got that great.
Winner was a bit ropey, wasn't he, at times?
Yeah, I mean, what I like about him was, he spoke his mind, and I've got more respect for them kind of people, them kind of filmmakers who speak their mind, they don't beat about the bush, they say what they think, and I can appreciate that kind of honesty. And bearing in mind, Michael Winner directed The Sentinel in 1977, 78, which is still it's a pretty creepy film not even now.
Is that coming out?
It's out now. You can get it. Was it Final Cut? Team released it over here.
Is that with him in the cover? What's he called?
John Carradine.
Yeah,
with the priest with the blind priest's eye.
Yeah.
You can get it on Blu-ray over here, but I don't think there's any extras. Where in America, Screen Factory did like a special edition back with extras, as you would expect.
Well, Screen Factory's seen them all.
But that was a pretty creepy film. Sorry, just to digress. But like I say, going back to Death Wish 4, if you watch that film, it's really quite slick, and you can tell it tried to do something different with the plot. Mm-hmm. But like I say, that there's no such thing for me as a bad Death Wish film. There's something to enjoy in all of them, And
I do enjoy them. I think probably 5 I didn't enjoy it as much, but it was probably just a one-time watch. To be honest, I can remember more of 5 than I can of 4. I remember 5, he had that big, huge gun, didn't he?
I think so, yeah. And I think, I remember a few bits and bobs about number 5, but I think probably the most memorable scene was the exploding basketball, exploding football scene. Or something. Robert Joy, I think. That was quite a clever scene. And you can tell, obviously, by 1995, Bronson was in his 70s, and you can tell he's doubled and all the rest of it. But, it could have been a lot worse, that film. So for my mind, like I say, there's something to enjoy in all of the Death Wish films, no matter how big or how small. And just one more thing as well. I highly recommend the Paul Talbot book, Bronson's Loose, the making of the Death Wish films. Covers all the films.
Really?
Yeah, it's a great read. Talbot is the Charles Bronson, like Tim Lucas is the barber.
Right.
Alan Jones is the Argento.
Yeah.
And Stephen Thrower is to Fulci. He really knows his stuff about Bronson, Paul Talbot, so it's well worth reading if you ever get a chance to look at that book.
You're right about Alan, what's he called?
Alan Jones.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's like a massive Argento fan, isn't he?
Well, apparently he was there. He was actually there when Asia Argento was born.
Really?
Yeah, he was actually there at the time of birth. That's how close he is into Argento's family.
Yeah, we just talk about him all the time, but I'll tell you what's really weird, because the Sex Pistols, they had a shop called Sex,
right,
where they used to have that, Matt McLaren used to do it.
Oh yeah.
And all the pictures you see of all the people in this shop, right? And you've got like Chrissy Hine, you've got Debbie Harry, you've got like all Adamant, you've got the whole lot of them, Sid Vicious. In the middle of them is Alan Jones. Yeah. He's in every picture with Jordan and all them ones. And you think, Catwoman, and you think, what? Yeah. So you think he's obviously come up from that and then got into this.
I think he's quite ingratiated himself amongst that kind of community. And I think what was Alan Jones once said about Argento's films, he says, you can take a frame from an Argento film, any Argento film, and hang it in an art gallery. Now, I don't know if I'll go quite that far, but I can see what he's saying.
Yeah. I would say the better looking bits of it you could put in it, especially Suspiria. You could be like a work of art. You're right.
I think pretty much. I think when he said that, he probably meant within Argento's golden period from the late 60s to the late 80s. After that, I don't think those
No
words
Dracula
would apply as
3D
much.
hanging on the
Yeah. But anyway, I'll move on to the next
Yeah,
title.
no,
Just
that's
give me a
brilliant.
second, yeah.
That's going to make me started in watching the Death Wish movies.
And this one here
Excellent.
is another Charles Bronson film. Now, believe it or not, I haven't actually seen this one. Okay, it's
Wow.
Mr. Majestic.
I've seen that,
Yeah.
although I remember seeing it, but God knows how long ago it was.
I believe he plays a melon farmer who gets hassled by the mob to muscle in on his business, and obviously refuses. And
Melon farmer.
yeah, I think yeah.
That's the word that was substituted for every swear word in these films, wasn't it? On the
Yeah.
TV?
Actually, it's quite a few extras on this, but again, I believe there's
I do remember that now.
Yeah, I believe there's a superior version coming out, if not out already, by Kino Lorber in the States. So I'll probably just go for that one. So again, like I say, I've never seen this one, so I can't really speak too much about it. But
I'm sure I've seen it. It does ring a bell, and I know the name.
well, like I say, quite a few extras on this one as well. So nice to see these old action films again getting classy treatment, you know. So it's a few bits and bobs on there, but again, yours to watch and enjoy.
Well, thanks, John. I'll tell you what, though, I do know that Kino Lorber, for some reason, they really liked Charles Bronson. They seem to put out loads of hit stuff. But his stuff seems to come out a lot when you watch people who have picked up some movies from Charles Bronson, especially on Blu-ray, like new releases. It's he's a thing he's not someone who's just vanished in obscurity. He still seems to be someone who does get released. Yeah,
they've released a few of his foreign-made action films. I think they're doing Violent City, the Sergio Solima one, shortly as well. I've still got the Yankee Blu-ray of that one. They've done Farewell, My Friend with Alan Delon, where I think they both team up to do a heist or something like that. I've never seen it, but I've seen just the trailer. And they did I think they released, was it Rider on the Rain? I think that was
I heard that.
Yeah, I think it was a French co-production or something like that. But I think recently they've been on a bit of a Bronson kick, but releasing some of the more obscure, like the Valachi papers or something like that, or the Valakai papers.
I think it's Valachi. Is that like a sort of mob?
It is, yeah. And I know that
Raycon Pass, is that another one?
That's a West one, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think they're doing Chato's Land, where I think he plays Native American or Apache or something like that.
White Buffalo, is that one? White Buffalo?
Yes, I don't know if that's out, but he was in that one. Yeah. And actually, the Telephone popped in my head there. The one, I think, is it Donald Pleasance in that one?
That's it, yeah.
Russian Sleep...
76?
77, I think. Russian Sleeper Agents or something like that. I think. Or was it Lee Remick? Lee Remick's in it, I think. I haven't seen that one since the 90s. That one. Yeah. But again, I mean, I think probably if you go back to the 70s, I think the two premier American tough guys back then were probably Eastwood and Bronson.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, you had guys like James Corbin and Burt Reynolds. Another one, Burt Reynolds. But I think probably the two most popular at the time would have been Eastwood and Bronson.
Definitely. I always feel like you always got a decent movie out of Bronson. He didn't seem to make trash.
No, I think even towards the 80s when he was working for Canon.
Yeah.
Lower
budget, but I don't think there were ones that you thought this is rubbish.
They weren't bad films, I mean, yeah, they were like a far cry from the glory days of Death Wish and that sort of thing. But they weren't specifically bad films. I mean, Murphy's Law to me, Murphy's Law is great, and 10 to Midnight is fantastic, And just to digress with 10 to Midnight, if you think about the killer in that film, played by Gene Davis, I think it was. The killer likes to kill people in the nude, and I suspect whoever wrote the script of that film was possibly influenced by the line spoken by Dirty Harry, a famous line. Do you know the line I'm talking about?
Come and run it towards us.
Yeah. Now, if you listen to that line in Dirty Harry, and if you think about that line when you're watching 10 to Midnight and when you watch how the killer behaves, how he kills.
Well, actually,
yeah. There may have been a bit of an influence there. Maybe I'm wrong. It could just be coincident. I don't know. But food for thought.
Well, no, I will agree with that one because yes, I know exactly what you mean with that Dirty Harry line, which is one of his favourite famous lines. But I like Bronson. I mean, who would go wrong with Bronson? I don't know anybody who says, oh, they don't like Bronson movies.
No.
Usually anybody who likes movies will like a Charles Bronson film somewhere down the line, even if it's just one.
Well, I think as a Bronson, I mean, fair enough. I mean, he was never the most dynamic actor in the world. But then again, I mean, how many action stars do you get who can't actually act? I mean, yeah, there are some, but
Yeah.
action stars are known more for the action than the acting. You know, that Bronson was no exception. So let's have a look. The next one.
I like Hard Times by him as well.
Street Fighter with James Coburn.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's good.
So the next one, let's have a look here, is the limited 2-disc edition of Phantasm 1 and 2 by Wellgo USA Entertainment in America. Now,
Never heard of them actually, John.
well, they tend to release quite a lot of foreign stuff like Hong Kong movies or Korean movies, that sort of thing. I do. They release the Ip Man movies in the States, so they tend to concentrate again more on Eastern cinema, Hong Kong, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Now, there's been quite a lot of controversy about this release, and apparently, I mean, I've read some stuff online, but it's become very confusing to try and keep up with what exactly is going on with this release. But the issue appears to be that there's nothing technically wrong with the discs in this set. What appears to be wrong is they've put the wrong discs in, the wrong releases, shall we say.
Oh.
This box set is supposed to have a remastered copy of Phantasm with a Dolby Atmos soundtrack, I believe, and also a 4K mastered, uncut Blu-ray of Phantasm 2. Apparently, the discs which are in this box, we have the original remastered Phantasm, which I believe was on a BD25 Blu-ray, which doesn't give you much, doesn't give you particularly good picture quality, I believe, or something along those lines. I'm not technically minded when it comes to Blu-rays. And also, the Phantasm 2 Blu-ray in this box set is actually the R-rated Scream Factory version and not the uncut version, as is mentioned on the top here. So have a look online. There's been a lot of to and fro about this release, how there's been a complete mess up with this, and like I said, it's become very confusing. So what I've done was I ordered replacement copies of both. So we now have the correct Phantasm remastered disc, and now also the uncut 4K mastered Phantasm 2 disc. So like I say, there's nothing actually technically wrong with the discs in this set. They are just the wrong releases.
Yeah.
So once again, I've got a spare copy here. I've got the corrected copy myself back home. I don't need this one. So as you can see, it's sealed. It's got a lovely slipcase, lovely artwork on this. Got a poster inside which appears to be quite large, judging by the size of it, if you look there. And once again, collectible poster inside. Yours to keep, and I've got the.
Yeah, it's heavy, that, John.
It is. It's got the replacement discs here. I had to open them up because it didn't mark which film.
All right.
So you know what I mean.
Well, what we're going to do actually on this video is we're going to take some of these, we're going to look at them on the player and see what we can say a little bit about what they actually look like. But I remember, obviously I wanted these. I had them on DVD, but I gave them across to John Clancy from Movie Collector because he loves his Phantasm movies, but he didn't have that particular box set. I'm sure there's a little thing on that they didn't have. And with me with a view to get them on Blu-ray, obviously with them coming out on Arrow. But when you see the Arrow box set down in price, you go looking for it, it's not there. And the only time you find it, it's like full price or like a stupid price, which I think is at the minute. So it always one that sort of passed us by, but when John mentioned this to me, I thought, this is something that I really need to see. And the fact is that now we've explained it to us about these discs now, and the fact that you've got the actual proper discs of what we're talking about in here. This is it's great as well, because to be honest, I don't think on the DVD copy I had, I don't think this Phantasm 2, the extra that would have been in there. It was the Anchor Bay box set, you remember that, the silver box set? I think you only get an extra 15 seconds of blood splurting when the priest gets the steel ball in the head. I think you don't get a lot of extra violence. It's only, like I say, literally 15 seconds, I believe. But if you want an uncut version, then you've got it. But like I say, the discs which are in there now, there's nothing wrong with them. In fact, apart from the fact that they're the wrong editions. That's what they are. They should play fine in a Blu-ray player. They're just not the versions which people were expecting to find in that box. Yeah. Well, it's you wouldn't like that, would you? If you said, I'm going to get a certain version and say, oh, it's not exactly that one.
Well,
you sign up for that one.
Well, some people were saying some of these releases have been affected. Some people are saying all of them have. And there's been that much brouhaha about it, you don't know whether you're coming or going. And to be honest, I've given up on trying to find out it may well be the correct disc in there already. I don't know.
Well, we'll find out,
You know.
won't you, John? We'll see what we've got.
Fair enough.
We'll
Yeah,
have a look, because we'll kind of come back on here and we'll tell you a little bit about these things, because I don't know if is this a recent release, John? Is
it just came out the back end of last year.
So if you were sitting on the fence like John was, and you're just wondering about this release, we might be able to answer a few questions here by checking it out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. Now that is heavy.
So
I like when you pick a disc up and you think, oh, there's something in there.
I know. I mean, well, if you look at this, it looks like the poster's quite a size in there.
It does, doesn't it? You can see. I don't know if you can. Yeah, you can see it there.
Yeah.
It's not. It's funny when some of them put the posters actually not in the box.
It's like it's really sort of take up the space in the slipcase. But like I say, the discs which are in there, you could actually keep them, because there's nothing technically wrong with them, you know. But as you can see, I've checked them both. I mean, I haven't actually handled the discs. I've just opened it and made sure they're the right ones. So if you, I mean, I don't know why they couldn't have written on like which one was Phantasm, which one was on Phantasm. So that's Phantasm 1.
So yeah, I just got a marker pen and just go 1. Imagine that. Some people would do that. That's it. If you went to CEX, they would just say, "Oh, just mark that for you with a marker pen or a sort of Bradall."
No, if that was me, I'd be starting to be screaming, "Don't do that!" You know.
No, that's great, John. So yeah, we'll check them out, and actually it would be interesting to see, because now we know what they look like, the corrected ones. If those ones are corrected, you'll see, won't you?
Yeah, well, like I say, they should look better, and that one should be uncut compared to what. I mean, it may well be a case, like I said, the correct discs could already be in that one.
Yeah.
The chances are, I would think they probably aren't, based on what I've read online.
Yeah.
Like I say, some people are saying, I think up to 10,000 are affected, and some people are saying no, everyone's affected. And it got to the point where I was reading that many different posts, I was just going cross-eyed. I thought, I've had enough of this, I'm just going to do what I've got to do.
So why do you think they only did 2 of them? I mean, no, there's more, obviously.
Well,
6.
Well, just for me personally, I gave up after number 2. I've seen part 3, I didn't like it at all. I think there was some sort of contractual reason where they couldn't release them separately, part 1 and 2. They had to release them together, hence the box set. You know, which that's where it is. That's where it is.
That's fair enough.
And the next one is.
So thanks for watching. You take care, and I'll see you on the next video. Cheers.
Thanks for watching. Take care. All the best, and hope to see you soon. Cheers. Thank you.